Chapter 1, Mishnah 2. This Mishnah continues to list laws that apply only to the 5 species of grain listed in the previous Mishnah. It begins with several laws relating to Pesach. The Torah obligates each person to eat matzah, unleavened bread made of flour and water, on the first night of Pesach. Another biblical law prohibits eating chametz on Pesach. The Mishnah discusses these laws. Someone who eats a kazayas, the volume of an olive, of matzah made from any of these 5 spices on the first night of Pesach has fulfilled his obligation to eat matzah. However, if he eats matzah made from other species of grain, he has not fulfilled his obligation. Similarly, someone who eats a kazayas of chametz of these grains is liable to karas, but other leavened grains are not prohibited, since they are not considered chametz. If one of the 5 species became chametz and became mixed with any other type of food, one who owns this mixture on Pesach transgresses the Torah prohibition of having chametz in one's possession. The Mishnah now discusses which types of grain are included when one makes a neder, vow, that prohibits bread or grain. One who makes a neder prohibiting himself from eating bread or from eating tevuah, grain, is forbidden to eat bread or grain of the 5 species. That is, if he made a neder prohibiting bread, he may not eat bread of the 5 species. If he made a neder prohibiting grain, he may not eat grain of the 5 species. He is permitted, however, to eat bread or grain of other species, because when people say bread or tevuah, they refer only to the 5 species of grain. These are the words of Rabbi Meir. Another term used to describe grain is dagan, literally pile. Since Rabbi Meir did not mention the case of a neder prohibiting dagan, it is evident that he holds that such a neder includes all types of grain, even those not of the 5 species. The sages disagree. But the sages say, someone who makes a neder prohibiting himself from eating dagan is forbidden to eat only the 5 species, but is permitted to eat other species of grain. According to the sages, people use the term dagan in the same way they use the term tevuah. Thus, when people say the word dagan, they mean only the 5 species. Another ruling that involves the 5 species of grain relates to challah and maasros. And the 5 species are subject to the obligations of both challah and maasros.